Yo, it's good, y'all. It's your boy Jay back at it again. And today we got the Epstein Circle, Gates, Trump, Musk, and more by Upper Echelon. Y'all know what the deal is, man. Follow me on both Jays here and Jays there. Get tapped on my socials. And yeah, we're gonna be looking at some awful info, man. Let's get right into it. Get some algo right quick.
Okay. By the time this video gets out there, there's probably going to be even more, but with a brand new multi-million page Epstein data dump, I wanted to dive in and look at the most immediately damaging stuff that we have, and also talk about just how badly the government screwed up, because it is bad, like historically bad levels of incompetence. Let's start with this, because we absolutely need the context. This is Todd Blanche, former personal lawyer for Donald Trump, who is now Deputy Attorney General of the United States. On January 30th, 2026, Blanche took the stage for a massive press conference unveiling that the DOJ and the FBI would be releasing about 3.5 million pages of new Epstein files as required by congressional law. The important part is at about 4 minutes and 10 seconds in, where he discusses the redaction guidelines and bloviates at length about how strict the criteria was, how hard their staff worked on these redactions, and how...
Nigga, the fact your staff got to redact shit shows people in your party and in the government in general are doing some fucked up ass shit.
Nothing was being withheld on the basis of national
you want like
security. If you actually listened to him and took his words at face value, which you absolutely should not do, this is the most transparent administration ever. The quality of their work is unimpeachable, and the redactions that they made were only to protect victim information, nothing else. Sadly, that is a lie. Over the course of today's video...
Who would have guessed the government lies? Oh my god, the government's lying to defend pedophiles and rapists and all that shit. Who would have guessed, face up?
I'll go through a series of examples in an effort to give as comprehensive a look as I can so far for this file dump. But at the end of it all, I want everyone to consider a question. Is the current governing administration in the United States telling the truth? Here we
Fuck
go.
no. And with that being said, I gotta spit some shit out. Hold on. That's my reaction when I see that nasty stuff they got going on. What you talking about?
Go. Item number 1, which is actually 2 documents in this case, EFTA 01660679 and EFTA 01660651. These documents show a collection of insane allegations against Donald Trump. These come from the NTOC, National Threat Operations Center at the FBI, which is where they process and vet public tips, and some of them are very obviously marked as not credible. Others are flagged as no contact made after attempting to follow up with the caller. But here and there, you start finding that some of these reports resulted in a, quote, lead being sent to conduct interviews.
God damn. Let's read this. Was reported an unidentifiable female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was 13, 14 when this occurred. And the friend allegedly bit President Trump by performing. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about a bite. Oh my god.
Obviously, I can't comment on the authenticity of these allegations overall, but there's something else I found interesting, something far more important in my mind, that speaks to the credibility of the DOJ, the Department of Justice itself, and their decision-making when it came to these redactions. Look at these 2 documents. Separate files, sure, but not always different content. Quote, complainant was spoken to and deemed not credible. Additional research showed 3 separate blank, and then it's all redacted. However, this file isn't. The rest of the sentence says, quote, incidents involving police which requested in mandatory psychiatric evaluations, end quote. That right there, although small in a vacuum, is the very first example in a massive, massive pattern. A pattern where the DOJ is redacting things that make no sense. Things that they have no legal right to withhold, and things that may in fact matter a great deal, we just don't really have the ability to know because we don't have the full picture. Example, they literally redacted the word none in this file. And you can straight up read some of the other redactions because they're not centered.
Yeah, and these
properly.
hoes is sloppy, my nigga. Like, why is this so big on the top? Why is this offset? Like, what are these niggas suck, bro.
It's a joke.
Incompetent ass motherfuckers.
And still, keeping in mind that the goal here is to analyze everything as objectively as possible, we need to do a bit of a fact check because despite massively viral social media claims all over the place, these 2 files were not actually pulled down or deleted immediately after publication. There were some 404 errors displayed on the DOJ website briefly, but they were ultimately resolved within minutes, I think, actually, and the files are now clearly visible again. I'm not sure why that happened. The sheer amount of traffic may very well have played a part, as people flooded into the directory specifically searching for those particular files, and it's entirely possible that the DOJ panicked, deleted them, and then reinstated them, like they appear to have done previously with a different batch of files, but this time I honestly see no indication of that happening. This time it feels like a genuine glitch. Do you want to know what isn't a glitch? This right here, an FD 302 victim interview, which is mostly redacted, clearly protecting certain perpetrator names alongside the potential victims, but even from what we see unredacted, quote, Maxwell presented blank to Trump and they had a conversation for approximately 20 minutes. Blank was invited to Mar-a-Lago, where she was given a tour by Trump with Epstein and Maxwell present. Nothing happened between Blank and Trump. By the things that Maxwell said, it was made clear that Blank was available. Maxwell said things like, "Oh, I think he likes you. Aren't you lucky? This is great." End quote. Put whatever kind of spin on that you want to. But what I see, personally, is a victim being presented...
Yeah, a victim. It's definitely a victim, bro.
...to someone with the obvious implication that they can have her if they want her. These are very serious allegations, and they're not the only ones. The sole focus of the video, by the way, isn't just Donald Trump, so I'm not going to read all of them.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein, Prince Andrew, yeah, just a bunch of rich, powerful... I don't like the fact that the most richest, successful, powerful people in the world are in on all this evil shit. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like, if you're gonna do bad acts, why not just, I don't know, money laundering or tax evasion or some regular shit? Why gotta be, like, rape and pedophilia? Like, what the fuck?
But the gist of it is that there are incredibly damaging revelations about how close Trump and Epstein were. So far beyond what we've been told is true, it is no longer possible to hand-wave the files away as just a Democrat hoax.
No.
Pivoting back to the first two documents, I also want to point out something else. In between the spreadsheets and the accusations, we have emails in August of 2025. But the thing about these emails is that here, we can see that they clearly acknowledge redacting a reporter's name, who explicitly is not a victim. Anthony Sibeli, I think is how you say it. While also, on one of the sheets, failing to redact an actual potential victim name, Leslie McMichael, in a further display of incompetence. Like I said previously, the video isn't focused solely on Donald Trump, but we're looking at well over 5,000 mentions of his name, and that's only the searchable portions of the archive that they've indexed, which hasn't even all been released so far. Let's move on to someone else, okay? Arguably the largest individual catalyst who has been deliberately stoking speculation about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, and that is Elon Musk. Elon has long maintained his near total separation from Epstein. He claims that the photograph of him and Ghislaine Maxwell is just a photobomb.
And this is the guy niggas was like, he's a good billionaire, bro, trust! Elon Musk is different from all the other billionaires. No, that nigga ain't on it. That nigga doing some evil shit too, bro.
Perpetrated, and he had no idea about it. He claims that he was invited to Epstein Island but refused, and he desperately lashes out at anyone who insinuates otherwise over the past several months. Quote, "Shame on Sky News for this utterly misleading headline. Anyone pushing this false narrative deserves complete contempt. Epstein tried to get me to go to his island, and I refused. Yet they named me even before Prince Andrew, who did visit." End quote. Strong words, very defensive, but it turns out that we actually have emails between Musk, Epstein, and Leslie Groff.
Yeah, nigga. Will be in the BVIST Barts area over the hall. Is there a good time to visit? Caught your ass in 4K Ultra Edition, broski. And your name is right here, my guy. Your name is right here, my G.
Epstein's assistants,
Excuse
reading,
me.
quote, Elon to Epstein, "Will be in the BVI/St. Bart's area over the holidays. Is there a good time to visit?" End quote. That's a little bit curious, given his proclamation
That's
that
hella suspicious, bro.
Epstein invited him to the island. But let's read on. Epstein replies, "Any day 1st to 8th. Play it by ear if you want. Always space for you." After which Elon says, "Okay, probably the 1st then." They correspond back and forth a bit longer. But anyone who reads this conversation can decidedly say with certainty...
Yeah, you willingly talk to this nigga and schedule an appointment to visit. So the idea that Elon Musk said, "I have nothing to do with this, I'm not going there," is cap. Because you're clearly conversing with the nigga. You are making plans, reservations. You getting a lineup and shit in the barbershop to look clean for the Epstein visit, nigga. You are guilty too, my nigga.
That Epstein was not asking Elon to go to his island. Elon was trying to go. Oh, that's not enough? Okay, I can understand that. Some people really drank the Kool-Aid. Here's an email from Musk to Epstein after Epstein asks, how many people
And
will
it's
you
crazy how Elon Musk, like 5 years ago, was the cool billionaire. Like, sure, you could say, oh, he was a little weird, a little odd, but he was the cool billionaire. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was smoking weed on podcasts with Joe Rogan, talking about Teslas and going to Mars. Like, he was the cool billionaire. And then you realize that most billionaires aren't good people. Because to get to that level of power and just overall fortune, you gotta do some crazy evil shit. Now, there's some people who've made bank and are very influential and they're not evil, yeah, but a lot of these billionaires are just, they're fucking terrible, my nigga. Like no bullshit, bro. And it's like, the idea that you could even converse with